Hello friends! You are back with me, Jenn the Taxidermy Witch, and we are finishing our Hoodoo in Bed series. It is now almost 24 hours from the time I started last evening. So let's read the last chapter and the conclusion. This will be our final... Oh no, excuse me. We have to finish the last chapter on POPPETS. We are reading from Hoodoo from Monique, Joiner Siedlak. So we left off doing Hoodoo in bed because I want to do a whole series reading this whole book to you in bed. Meanwhile, I have gotten some videos in between, which has been great, so make sure to check those out. I've been doing some series on Crowley's Thoughts Tarot as well as this one in black and white, and both of them have been a lot of fun. I've been having so much fun meeting a lot of new people. Both every time I do a Hoodoo video, I meet more new good people, and every time I do a video on Crowley's Thoughts Tarot, I meet more new good people. So I already have loads of content on that stuff. Make sure to search the Taxidermy Witch and whatever topic you want and see what comes up. I've done almost 600 videos, and I'm so thankful I hit a big milestone for myself today. So woohoo! I also gained a Patreon today, and I will be doing a shout out video just for her. So she's my first Mallard level. And I'll be talking about all the things she gets and reminding you guys. So let's get to the book. Yes, now that I've promoted myself. Jenn the Taxidermy Witch. Like, share, subscribe, my loves. Thank you. Okay, so blessing the puppet is what we have to talk about next. Blessing, or ritually identifying your puppet or dolls, can be a bit of that individual's energy. Blessing or ritually identifying your puppet or doll calls for a bit of that individual's energy into the puppet. After the baptism, the spiritual link is established between the puppet and the individual, so that whatever occurs to the puppet will occur to the individual as well. And we talk about that baptism. We're talking about when we hold, remember we talked about holding the puppet in our hand and saying, telling the puppet, I made you out of this. These things, the dill is for this, the rose stems are for this, the cloth is red because this, your dress is made out of the fabric out of her bridal gown the day she met so-and-so. As much as you can get into that doll as possible, tell the doll, so the doll and spirit around you hears what's going on, and you've told that item what it belongs to. You've baptized it. Oh, I'm wrong. Right below it says, to baptize your newly created puppet, sprinkle it with some holy water, and then form the symbol of the cross over it 3 times, saying, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I baptize you as individual's name, or Sally, or Jesse, or Raphael, whatever, you know. Alright. Everything, and I baptize you as Sally Jesse. Everything that I do to this doll, I do to him or her. Amen. Or amen. Or yeah? Discharging the spirit. When your puppet has completed its chosen task and you don't need it anymore, it is necessary to free the part of the individual's energy before you dispose of the puppet. You don't want to bury a puppet when the person's energy is still in it, and then it's like you're burying them. You don't want to do that, because remember, everything you do to the doll, while it's still baptized to that person, is going to affect the person. Okay? Whether you treat it nice or whether you treat it poor. And even if it's made only for a positive working, if you treat it poorly, it's going to affect it in that way. It's not only going to take the positives, as far as I understand, even with your intent. Because these things can get muddled, right? In my experience, things have gotten muddled before, and you just learn from them, note them in your Book of Shadows grimoire, and move on, yeah? Okay, so let's talk about how to discharge the spirit. When your puppet has completed its chosen task and you don't need it anymore, it is necessary that you free the part of the individual's energy before you dispose of the puppet. To free the energy, the simply perform the symbol of the cross over the poppet and state, allow my words that connect you, set you free now so that you may return back from where you came from. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Omen. Om. Disposing of your poppet. Like the remains of candles, disposing of your poppet consists of full spectrum of choices for the spiritual practitioner. For positive workings, I like to bury them somewhere near me, and I have an offering space where I bury Bastet's offerings after they've been in here one day. That was a question somebody had to me. How do you make your offerings not rot or have like the chance of pests getting to them? In my space that I leave them out, I only leave them out for 24 hours. I leave them out in a space where my animals can't get to them. And then I have an offering place where I put them under the special tree I've dedicated to this house's outside Bastet area. And it's actually where one of my cats lays all the time when it's sunny, and it's such a beautiful spot for kitties. And I just know that she loves it. So, so that's kind of what I do. And then it's in the ground. It's hers, you know, that raw bullet. I had it in here with a candle, especially for her for a day and a half, and then I took it outside and I buried it in her spot. And I do a little ritual out there that I just made up myself. Okay, so disposing. So dispose of your puppet in a full spectrum of choices. You can look up loads of ways as well. Some spells include directions for disposing of a puppet as part of the working. For example, a mirror box enclosed an adversary's puppet may be entombing at the grave of a powerful spirit where it will be held down. How you dispose of your puppet will mostly be influenced by... It's not the greatest editing in this book, but it's a short book and you get it. But, for instance, this sentence says, exactly, it's in quote, how you dispose of your puppet will mostly be influenced by on what the puppet was needed for. Okay, not exact right English, but that's okay. She's freaking smart in all other areas. And that could be a typo by someone else anyway. Thank you, Monique, for this book, and thank you for delivering this book to me. I so appreciate it. And so I could deliver it to all of you, right? Everybody should give gratitude to their spirit guides, maybe right now, and just say, thank you, spirit guides, for all that you've given me today, yesterday, the day before, and all the other days. Thank you for being with me every day, protecting me, looking over me. And while I say those things, I give one hand up to receive and one hand up to give, where I'm giving that message and then I'm receiving their energy, okay? Just a little thing that I do on my own. Cover your head in hoodoo workings, though, yeah. It's really important. Spirit can hop in there. So, even if you forget, here you go. I've done this before, and I actually did it in a video with a pair of tights. Got into a client's house, and one of my things I like to wear is like shorts and leggings, or shorts and tights or whatever. Well, I got there, and I didn't have anything to cover my head, but I had a pair of leggings or tights underneath my shorts. I went in the bathroom, took those off. It was a hot day anyway, it didn't matter. It was just like more of my stomach was out than I wanted, but it was more important to me that I covered up my head. Another thing you could do is you could just, if you have a sports bra on, you know, and it's covering you properly all over the place and it's nothing, right? And it's a hot day, you could just take your shirt off and use it as a wrap. So, leggings are easy because you can literally wrap them. You put the butt of the pants in the back of your head, roll it under and around, and then take the legs and wrap them around. So, in my video I did in this, in the Thoth series, Decoding Thoth Tarot, and how I prepare for divination, I did a video where I wrapped a pair of tights around my head right there in the video for the first time ever. So, there's that. I'd done it with leggings before, but not with tights, and all I had was tights on the ground, so that's fun. Alright, y'all, disposing of your puppet. How you dispose of your puppet will be mostly, right, we talked about that. If you are inclined, it could be tossed in running water, burned, buried, or even left behind at the crossroads. And a lot of people do leave things behind at the crossroads. When you're at the crossroads and you are looking for your dirt, and if you need if you're wondering on how to do that, ask me and I can make you a video on it. But there are a couple out there, but it's so easy to just say, yeah. I recommend that you dispose of your poppet. No, I was saying while you're out there and when you actually find the spot you need to be to, because there's a couple things that make an actual crossroads and not just two crossing roads. Look for things, just like when you're at the graveyard, look for monies on the graves. That's witches that have been there and taken graveyard dirt, you know what I'm saying, and left offerings behind. It's so cool when you're a witch and then you realize, like, all these things maybe you'd seen before in life, they're completely witchcraft and you just had no idea. It's all around us all the time, you guys. It's positive stuff. And it's love energy in the universe. It's not what Hollywood paints it as. They paint it that way so that people will be scared of this and no one will want to do it, because if we all harness this flicking energy, we would be so powerful and so headstrong. And we are powerful as a group of people, but we're just not headstrong enough, you know. We're all glued to our devices, which I can't say much about because I'm on mine a lot doing this. I'm staring at it, looking at videos, and I'm posting myself. But other than that, I do get my nose in books, and I suggest you guys do too. This one is just a great one to have on for research, but I'm reading it to you in case you're not able to get it. We're almost through it, guys, if I would stop talking for a little bit. So we're 11 minutes in, we're not doing too bad. Now let's start saying, if you are uncertain on how to dispose of your poppet, offer a divination or request your spirit for answers. Close your eyes and say, Spirit guides, I am not happy with my, I can't get any intuition on this. Please show me an image in my head right now that shows me how I need to dispose of this. And literally the first thing that just came into my head was a picture of a running stream, and then directly after that some charcoal burning. But that's just because in my head it's just how your brain works. But the first thing was running water. So for this working, it would be that, and it would be the first word or image or whatever you see when your eyes are closed and you're asking, yeah? But ask aloud, you guys. And before you ask and call on spirit, have your Florida water, put it on your hands. I'm like looking for my atomizer. It's somewhere. Oh, it's way over there. You put it on your hands. Clap, clap, clap. Your head's covered. Cleanse yourself with the chicken foot if you want to. All that stuff is great. Okay, so now let's talk about poppets in particular, and this one is for love. To get started, here are a few poppets to make. For love, items needed. Poppet material, color red or pink. So this is for the fabric that they're saying. Maybe if you're going to just do that gingerbread shape. Herbs. Ginger, rose petals, orris root, vanilla, peppermint. Stones. Carnelian. You can create a poppet to symbolize the recipient of your affection, or make one to symbolize both you and the other person. If you are merely trying to attract love to yourself, but don't have a particular person in mind, I love that, and I love that it's an attraction working. We always want to try those before love workings. Try them 10 times before love. Make it reflect on all the details that make you attractive to a would-be lover. If you are trying to attract a particular person to you, you can use a red or pink cord to join the poppets together, like join their hands like a hand fasting, right? To gain employment poppet. Yay! Items needed when I get to Houston, or whatever city we end up parking in and around the greater Houston area. I will need to make a gain employment poppet, I'm sure. But I'll have my beautiful frog altar with me, won't I? So I'll be good. To gain employment, items needed. Poppet material, green or gold. Herbs to use, and if you didn't have that, you could of course use muslin, right? Herbs to use, tonka, clove, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Stones to use, tourmaline or citrine. Funny, I have both of those stones now. While you are creating the poppet, think of all the positive qualities you have that would make you the perfect candidate to an employer. So, as you're stitching this thing up, you're thinking about how good you're doing. When my boss watches me vacuum, because I know he does because the sushi bar just looks out to the restaurant and it's like an open kitchen, he looks at just me out there. And it's not like he's looking at me, he's doing his thing. But I know he looks up and like, if I bang the vacuum on the wooden structure, he's like, Jennifer! And I'm like, he's smiling or whatever. But since I've been back, that's not happened. Just when I was a young kid working there, I remember that. Anyway, the whole time I'm thinking, I'm doing such a good job. If he looked up right now, he would be proud. You know, whatever. And I just like have confidence in what I'm doing. And you, when you're making this, you want to think of all the things you do better than someone else, or that you, not like that, that doesn't sound right, that you thrive at and that you're so good at, and you want to think of those qualities that you have that you're proud of yourself, and you want to put those out there and think about that as you're stitching it up. If you need to make a list, because some people have a hard time with self-appreciation, and I know I did for a long time and I don't anymore. I think the reason is because when you do things for free, you're able to appreciate it more, right? Like, you're like, even kind words are the most beautiful gift for a video I've done or something, right? Even if it takes an hour or two to research the video, set it up, and put it together. It's all worth it. And so this is something that's really cool. That's a quality about myself that I'm developing. But even if you have to write those down and put them beside your working and keep looking at those words, you know, I am a great encourager, I am a great mother, I am a great friend, I am a great, a talented witch, I am a knowledgeable herbalist, I am, all these things, just write them down. And while you're making your poppet, looking for your new job, maybe you can make them a little bit closer to what the employment would be if you're looking for a job as a massage therapist or a waitress, let's say. Write down all your qualities in that area, plus some personal qualities that just tie into maybe customer service, okay? Or your actual talents within that trade, and then have them there while you're stitching up your employment poppet, okay? Alright, so while you are creating the poppet, think of all the positive qualities you have that would make you the perfect candidate for the employer. Now, a protection poppet. Items needed. Poppet material, color white. Of course, protection, purity, cleansing, this. And just an all-purpose, all-around great color. Herbs, basil, frankincense, juniper, mandrake, and copal. I have all those things. That's great. Stones, onyx, and quartz. Got that. I have everything to make that. That's great. If anybody needs a protection poppet, let me know. If anybody needs a love one with no orris root but tons of extra love stuff, let me know. And the employment, I don't have Tonka, but I have 1,000 substitutions. So, not 1,000 for employment, but a few. So let me know. If you need one of these poppets, I can certainly make you one up with these, like, herb bones, you know, the dill or rose or sugarcane bones. Love it. And I put in the comments, somebody asked me already about price. They range anywhere from $15 to a teeny tiny wax one, all the way up to $150 or more, depending on how much detail I can put into one for you personally. I can either keep it here and do workings on it, you know, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, or multiple times a day. Or I can, after I'm done constructing it, send it to you and you can work on it, okay? So, that's something I'm going to shout out Pagans and Witches Amino app right now and say check out their Vendor's Corner, because I'm so grateful and thankful that they allow me to put my stuff on, because that's the only way I advertise my Etsy shop. And right now my Etsy shop has only been custom orders. And I'm so thankful. But make sure to check that out, y'all. I will attach it below. Next, healing poppet. So, items needed. Poppet material white or blue. Herbs, wintergreen, rose, lemon balm, carnation, ivy, and pine. I can make one of these. Bloodstone. I don't have a bloodstone. I have one, but it's a gift, and I need to get more bloodstone. So a healing poppet. That's awesome. However, I have other stones for healing. Amethyst is great, and clear quartz is all-purpose. I've got both of those. And that's how you can substitute your crystals, you know. Remember, clear quartz is the, like, white is to color magic. to stone magic. It is the all-purpose stone that can work for absolutely any working. And you can cleanse those in the moonlight, in the freezer, in some holy water, and some altar water, and so I have 10 ways to cleanse something. Check out that video, y'all. So many videos. If one day I never have to say the word video again, I'll be happy. They'll just be like, you'll just know. So many V's. Alright, so Bloodstone. As you create this puppet, be sure that you specifically what you are trying to heal. That's exactly what it says. I think it's trying to say, be sure that you focus specifically on what you are trying to heal. Direct all of your power on the illness or healing. So that's the end of it. But let's say that I was going to make this puppet for my father who has lung issues, and he's in his mid to late 70s right now, and very, very like uncomfortable on breathing mechanisms all the time. So his main focus is like he's got a lot of pain in his joints from working a long time his whole life, and then he's got lung issues and sometimes like digestive issues. So if you make a puppet, a wax one, you can, stuff the herbs in the areas of where the organs are that need help. You can also put herbs, if you don't want to do it the medicinal connection, you can do a magical connection by using the chakras, okay? The red. Oh. Starting from the bottom, coming to the top, and in black and gray, this is interesting, I know. But the red at the bottom, that is the root chakra. The orange is the second chakra and the sacral chakra. The yellow, the third up from the top, the solar plexus. Green, fourth up from the top, the heart chakra. Blue, fifth up from the top, is your throat chakra. Purple, your third eye, purple or indigo. And then the crown up here is gold and clear. So, very, very, very beautiful gift from one of my closest girlfriends. And I keep that with me, like, all the time. But you could definitely put the herbs in the puppet in the chakra zones, because you can heal with those as well, okay? Alright, so 2 ways that you could add herbs into the puppet and where to put them. I think... No, this oil chapter is way too long. Alright, come back for another video with me, Jenn the Taxidermy Witch, while we talk about hoodoo in bed. We'll be coming back for chapter 13, Oils. I'm quite excited. It's going to tell us like about the base oils for hoodoo working oils. It's going to tell us how to make easy Van Van oil, regular Van Van oil. It's going to give us a recipe for Come to Me oil, All Saints oil, Crown of Success oil, because those little bits that you get from the store, I mean, they're expensive for like a half of an ounce of oil sometimes is all you get. Crown of Success oil, Master Key oil, Confusion oil, Uncrossing oil, Fast Luck oil, and then we'll be saying a conclusion and about the author again, and I will say a personal message to Monique Joiner Siedlak, in case she ever sees this, which I hope she does, because so many of you got to listen to her words, and it also will tell us how we can get a hold of her. She's put a section in here about her Facebook info, her Twitter, her Insta, her book pub, and her newsletter you can subscribe to. So I'm going to give you guys all that information in either the next video or there may be a very, very final video. Alright, come back while we talk more hoodoo in bed. Cover your head. Bye.